My many years of walking this complicated earth tells me that every single one of us is more than meets the eye. We are, as I say, and don't label me, the only label that I can stand by that captures all of us is the label plural. We are all plurals. And let me bounce this off of you. If we got into the habit, Bret, of entering into potentially contentious conversations, conversations in which we know there's going to be disagreement, but we started it off by saying, look, we don't know much about each other. We probably only really know that we disagree on X issue. But the one thing that I can count on, I would say to you, Bret, is that you are so much more than what I think I know about you. So am I. I'm so much more than what you assume about me. And can we agree, therefore, that in this conversation, I'm not going to judge you or judge the totality of who you are based on your position on this particular issue? And could you extend to me the same courtesy? If we established a ground rule like that, first of all, is that too idealistic? Is that a habit we can actually get into in order to begin making, making a conversation more constructive than it might otherwise be?
So it's funny. I had almost forgot to mention it. There is a small community of people, I don't even exactly know what its boundaries are, but that was united by our friendship with Mike Brown. Mike Brown used to hold a gathering he called Science Camp, where he would bring scientists to a particular island, and we would talk to each other about what we thought was true, doing exactly the sort of thing you and I are describing here. And there was a thing that we had called Double Island Rule. The Double Island Rule, because we were meeting on Double Island, was that when somebody says something that sounds stupid, you know they wouldn't be in the conversation if they were stupid. Therefore, you are obligated to imagine that what they have said makes sense relative to some framework, and you're obligated to look for it, right? Leaping to the conclusion that because somebody has said something preposterous, that they are obviously not making sense wouldn't be a reasonable thing to do in that context. Now, you can't apply this rule just any old place, right? Lots of people say lots of stupid stuff. But in the context where you have curated the discussion so that everybody there knows what sense sounds like, at the point people stop making sense, there's typically a reason for it. And very frequently it comes down to one of these glossary comparisons or something like that. So I love your approach to this, which is, all wise people recognize that that I might be the central player in my story, but that you are surely the central player in your story.
Right.
And therefore I need to correct the discussion for the fact that if each participant is having that experience, that, and this is someplace very important to me, we are actually having a conversation that exists between us. The important thing about this conversation is not what happened in your head. That could go on to be important. You could go on to do something with it. Likewise, I could go on to do something with it. But the primary import of this conversation is that you and I have created an emergent space between us in which we have reached an understanding, right? And it contains pieces of what I think and pieces of what you think. And it seems to be hanging together in the middle in the sense that we seem to agree on important things that are enlightening in their own right.
Aha.